Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again. Seems like only yesterday since we were doing a live tile swap, of course. Well, today, not so much so, because we're doing one of our regular tiles. A little bit of housekeeping at the end as well, so I will get Chris to put a post up. There's been a couple of little changes, but we'll get them sorted later. No need to worry now. I think, honestly, I probably need an hour out more than anybody today. It's been a little bit crazy, but all done now. And as you can see, my tile, I've got it cut in half, and I've just taped it together there. So I've just cut it, so I've got a bit of a rectangle going on. And must admit, I want to dedicate this tile today to my sister, who would have been 47 years old today. I bet she'd have been pleased knowing that. But as we know, sadly, she's not with us anymore. But of course, she's still there in the logo with the wings. But we like to think of her now and again. So happy birthday, Julie. Of course, it would have been my dad's birthday as well. So happy birthday, Dad. It's, yeah, family occasion. So, okay, what we're going to do today then. I've put a little bit of ink on this, let it dry. This is one of the, a bright white tile. And I've just used a little bit of red and pink out of my dual brush pens and spritzed it and then just put the tiles in and let them dry. So. All right, are we ready? Got a pencil with me. I've got the two greys today. I'm actually going to give the Uniballs a try. Here we go. So I've got the Uniball dark grey and the Uniball light grey as well. Let's see what they're like. Got some pastel pencils, a couple of tortillons, regular pencil, usual stuff. So are we ready to get going? Okay. I think the first thing I'm going to come in with a pencil. I'm just going to put myself a little bit of a guide on. I'm just going to have it sort of this way for now, so you can see. It's like so. I just need to put it back a bit. It's not that long since I inked it, so it's not had a chance to all settle. There we go. All right. So let's have a look. I'm going to put a line down here. So again, quite light. There we go. You can go a little bit lighter than this, of course, because you don't need to sort of have it showing in the camera. There you go. Okay, so it's about maybe a centimetre there, and same this side too, or similar at least anyway. And the good thing is all your tile swaps are ready to go into the post box, so they'll be all out and about the next few days. Now I've managed to get Dobby's little stash that he was hiding. So yeah, it's all sorted now. What's he like? I'm going to stick with pencil. Oh, it is Jackie. I like to do different now and again. I like to. Here we go. I'm going to start with, let's start in the middle with a bubble. Again, you see I'm using pencil. This is just a guide. There we go. And then let's work so far up. I don't want to go too small. Okay. So let's see how many of these bubbles we're going to get. It's, I say, sort of in the middle. At the top there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 there, plus that middle one. Let's see how many we can get down this end here as well. All right, so I'm probably going to do the same. There you go. There you go. About 4-ish. All right. They don't have to match or anything like that. It's all coming down to, to the same sort of thing. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate that. All right. Are we ready then? I'm coming in with a pen. I'm going to use this dark grey first. What I'm going to start with is I'm going to work my way around the bubble. Here we go. I'll go a bit bigger so you can see it. There you go. Around the bubble. Joining on to the next one. There we go. Okay. And the same on this next one. Around the bubble. And join in. And same again. So round the bubble. So I don't need to go back and do 2 rows. I don't know why I have, but I have now. So I'll do that with all. There you go. Just gives it a slightly darker grey, but it really doesn't matter. And same here. It's the next bit then, isn't it? So I don't have to, but okay, same with this one. Now, take your time with these. You don't have to rush them. don't think you've got to keep up with me all the time and keep on. It's fine. Okay, so I've got that kind of sort of design going on. So I'm going to start first, I think, with this one here, because this is going off in the end. If I work sort of towards the middle there, and what I want to do now is I'm going to come all the way around. There we go. And I want to touch that outer line there that I've gone in with the pencil, and bring it back round to the middle of that one. Okay. And then repeating that, so coming back up, touching that line and back in and down into the middle there. And again, up and down into the middle. And then I'm going to go off the edge there as well. Same sort of thing, you see? So now I can do the same here. It's going to sort of come up and go off. Tie it that way somewhere. Right, there we go. So if I turn it around, I want to do the same sort of thing here. So let's have a look. We've started in the middle there, so I'm going to start in the middle here. So I'm going to come up and around and into the middle there. It is, isn't it? I did give you a guideline to work with. Oh, Lynn, yeah. Oh, I have forgotten. So I could tell you what it is, but I haven't got one here. Unless Leslie's listening and she can go and fetch one. Ah. There we go. I did say it's been a bit of a crazy morning. Oh, John's going down. John? Could you ask Leslie to bring up the new project or the new projects for the Hobby Maker show, please? So we can show. She knows. She's an elf, she knows.
She's an elf.
Okay.
I'm amazed I don't.
There we go. All right. So let's have a working. Let's go a bit bigger. A couple of these sort of shapes here. I'm going to come in and create a little line. Oh, a bit wobbly, but that's okay. I'm going to do the same. Now here, when you get to here, I'm not going to do quite the same. I'm going to bring it round and then fill that in with ink. A little bit of a teardrop shape. And the same here. Bring it round. Not even. Yeah, let's do that. So we've got a bit of a shape there. So fill that in with ink. There we go.
I was already on the way.
And then around we go. This side as well. Thank you, Leslie. Okay. Alright, so let's do the same here. Let's bring that around that way. So if you don't have to fill this with ink, you could leave it if you wanted to. So I'm gonna put that ink in there. It's gonna look a bit paler today as well because it's grey anyway. Okay. Same on this one. There we go. And then, okay. And then let's bring this in and around. So just sort of following that line. There we go. And same on the other side. So I'll zoom out now and we can have a look at what I'm doing there. There we go. Okay. So same with this one. Bring it in there and in there. As I said, you could do different things with that if you wanted to. I'm just gonna fill it in with a bit of ink. The same this way. I'm going to bring a bit of colour in, I think, anyway, with some of the pastel pencils. So Just even here, I'm going to bring that half in so it finishes it off there. And then here we go again, around the shape. Just gives it a nice edge. And same here. And of course, oh, a little bit onto this one, and again I'm going to go off the edge there. Okay. There was a lot of rattling of paper, wasn't there? Oh goodness me. We have been busy here. Honestly, we've been doing a few different bits and pieces. Let's bring this around. And of course, if you wanted to, you could actually finish this off and bring it to a point here. I've chosen to go off today. This would make a really nice border or a frame on something. But we've continued it so it's not going to be complete. But if you wanted to do that, you could. Okay. And then here, I'm going to go around the shape. There you go. And along and down. You see? So if I turn it round now, we can do a similar thing. Just fill that in there, around this one. So we're putting our little line in. There we go. And then one here. And again, you know, you could even, I suppose, if you bring a smaller tile in, if I just show you there what you would do, you could see, curl it round. Yeah, so you get that kind of thing on the end. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to go off the edge for me, just in case you want it to. So I'm going to continue just adding this sort of next layer. There we go. Oh, Lynn, yeah, the pen. Yeah, actually, it's fine. It's I do use the Uniball white gel pens. They work really well. And I don't think they always clog up like some pens do. But yeah, this is quite nice. It's an 01. It's flowing nice. As you see, it's filled with ink. Of course, it's not going to be as dark as the black because it's a grey pen. But oh no, it's doing the job. But you know what? We've got a little bit more tangling to do, haven't we? So we'll see how I feel with it. There we go. I'm getting in there. I think the nib's a little bit harder than the others, maybe. Not hard in a horrible way, just hard as in, you know, it's a little bit more sort of substantial, maybe. Don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right. So next bit then. I'm going to start at this top end, and what I want to do is create some little swirl shapes. Just going to thicken up the end there, you see? Yeah, Janet, they're nice, aren't they? Quite nice. I've got the 05 as well. See how I suppose I could have used the 05 to fill in those bits. Let's have a look at the 05 and see what you think. You see, there you go, a little bit thicker there. Maybe give it another, that's quite nice, layer in. It certainly gives it some, yeah. Must admit, that's the first time I'm using it as well, so there we are, just putting sort of little bits in. Oh, into that one. That's a little bit, because I've got to go over that little gather. You see, because I've coloured in one area, I've got to go in and colour all of them, so there we go. Same with this one, so I'm neaten that bit up. And then of course this one here, let's have a look, here we go. Okay, so where were we? Back to little swirls. So this one, I'm going to sort of continue it as though it's going off the page. Just thicken that up as before, so it sort of wanders in. And let's have a look at this one. So that's that way. This one's going to sort of come that way. And now, Chrissy, so you prefer these? I haven't done the water-based test on it. I might give that a play later. But I have used them before. I just wanted to give them a try. There we are. Just sort of wandering around. And another one there. It's going to go underneath. Okay. And then same with this here. So it doesn't matter which way you start. You can go whichever way is more comfortable for you. But just having that little bit of pinky red underneath is quite nice, isn't it? It's not too sort of in your face. It's letting the grey pen do its job. There we go. And I'm using all sides there. I'm trying to sort of touch both sides if I can. So it's gonna go. See, we could even continue those up and out. So you can create, you know, if you've got this as a border, you could come out here and wobble it up a bit. But again, we're sticking with a border design. So there we go. Just working my way around. And you know, sometimes it's nice to be a little bit different and try a different shape, because we do squares a lot. I know that, sort of the nature of some of it, but now and again just sort of swapping it around and doing it this way gives it a little sort of a different feel. Will it, Chrissy? I'll have to try it. We'll see what it does. You have to experiment now and again, don't you? Try something a little bit different. It's interesting. I don't have my spritzer here, so. Okay. So, just checking, going that way. That's the thing, when you start talking and you lose focus, you forget which way you were going with your curls. Alright. And same sort of thing here. I'm going to have this one so it looks like it's coming out there. And then this one could go this way. And then around. See, I'm following it round now here, because I've got quite a big space. So I'm gonna fill it with a larger swirl. So just sort of adding a little bit of weight there. Okay, and so it's that way. So this is going to go facing towards the inside. There we go. If you're not sure, just stop and, you know, redraw it and just think about which way is it facing. Left and right. You see, again, filling the space up with it. And there, as we go. So has anybody done their next tile swap yet? I know we did the video yesterday. I think I'm going to have to get on with mine and get it done. Might do it this week while I'm out and about and I've got some time. But, it's quite an interesting one because it's a very simple tangle, but it's you've got a lot of different variations or a lot of different things you can do with it, so it's a bit of a challenge for you that you've got to come up with a design. I think I'm just going to, oh, Teresa's already done hers. Wow. I think I'm just going to pick one. You know, pick a tile that I love doing, that I really enjoyed. And if it hasn't got that kind of design in, I'm going to add it. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go for an inked background. Plenty of colour on there. And see what comes of it. Need to get on with that. There we go. All right. It's not looking too bad at all, this. Let's have a look at this. Okay. Wendy, yeah, you've got a bit of a collection there. I do have a couple of the art pens. I've got some of the Ink Lily as well, fine liners. It depends what you want to use them for, doesn't it, really? I mean, it's archival's great. Do you want it always to be, or do you store your tiles in journals and things? I don't know. It's variations. It's running well. I quite like this. There we go. So we've got this sort of design running around. Okay, I'm going to come in with the little row of bubbles on the outside here. Not too big. Just want to give it a little bit of an edge. You see, it's got a bit bigger. Oh, Tracy question there. I was using the Bronzeal pencils, I think. They're quite nice, good price actually. They're a good price pencil. They blend pretty well, so they're nice. You can get more expensive, of course, but you know, I like to think about the price point. We don't all want to spend £200 on a set of pencils, do we? But you know, get yourself if you can, get yourself a decent set if you've not got any. Don't think it's fine. A pack of pencils at, I don't know, maybe $2.99 from a supermarket will do. They're not always, they're a little bit scratchy and you don't get the best result. Like I've worked with all sorts of pencils, even in school, some of the nasties you can imagine. So it's so much easier if you've got a decent set to actually blend and get a decent sort of finish out of it. Okay. Alright. It's quite nice just drawing bubbles sometimes. And I just want them to touch. Not too big, they don't have to be, as long as they're touching. They're not all going to be the same. Len, I know what you mean. I know. To spend on pencils, could you imagine? I mean, I've got to admit that I have got a set of pencils that I paid £200 for. But it's purely business, of course. And some of the artwork I do has to last. And I have to know 100% that if it's going to sort of go up at shows and things like that, that it's got to be the right thing. But honestly, I brought those a while back. They did. Okay, I can't remember the last set of pencils I brought actually. But, oh, by the way, I'm doing bubbles on the other side now. So you can see why we do that line lightly just to start us off, but we don't need to see it now. It's sort of done and out the way. You know, if you want to rub it out, you can do. But, I might just leave mine. I don't mind seeing the work there. Oh, Tracy, yeah, they're nice. They blend pretty well. You know, I don't know if you know, when before lockdown, I used to go to Crafters in Chesterfield every week. I used to do colouring classes there, so I used their pencils and their alcohol markers. I used to draw images for the class to colour and things. Seems so long ago now. I am going back there in May. I'm going to do like a demo afternoon, so I think I'm taking the Sea Life stencils and the native Dreamcatcher and doing a bit of a demonstration there. I think it's towards the end of May. So it does feel weird going in there, sitting there again. Okay, here we are, sort of filling those little bubbles in. Look, let's do one here. So, you know, there's no rush with this. Just taking my time with it. Here we go. Just all the way up to the end. There we go. Let's have a look. Oh, it's quite nice, isn't it? It's worked out, you know, a little bit unusual there. It's a bit different. So let's have a look at these sort of little V shapes here. I'm going to come in now, and again I've actually got the sort of line still there. Maybe I'm going to use that after all. I want to put myself a bit of a bubble in there. There we are. And let's do the same around. Just fill in that little space in there. And same in this one. And there we go. Of course. Oh no, okay, I will do Teresa. I'm sure it's the end of May, and I'm sure that they'll advertise it between now and then. I just can't remember. I can't remember what day it is, let alone what I'm doing in May. But yeah, they're a really nice set of people down there. They're lovely, very helpful. Here we go. Oh, Pat, are we gonna hear any of this singing then? Well, if you're having lessons, is it opera? Is it heavy metal? Okay, so there we go. We've got that kind of thing. I'm going to make it a little bit larger now. Okay. Doesn't matter which bubble we start on. I'm going to come on up and create a bit of a curve there. Might actually do that on all of them to start with, because you know when you get in the flow and you start with your little shapes, they look like antennae, but they're not really. There you go. And then same here, and that one. And I think I'm gonna come on in here and do the same on the other side. And just work my way up the row. And now add in these little curvy lines. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to join them together, like so. Yeah, it would be a nice bracelet, wouldn't it? Imagine doing this on, you know, on metal, jewellery metal. You can draw and engrave on that. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Quite like that. Okay, so we've got that kind of thing. Let's have a look. Oh, if I can zoom, doesn't want to zoom. There we go. All right. So I'm going to work on each side of this little bubble now. And I'm creating those same lines and putting a line over the top. So same this side. You can sort of gauge the size of them now. You've made a start there. And along here. And then this one. Okay, and I see it might have half a one there, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm gonna just work on these ones in the middle. Okay. Same here. I'm gonna do two first and then the one on the top. Maybe, yeah. And then one on the top. Just sort of fit it in as best you can. Okay, turn it round. Oh no, yeah, little aliens. Hey, if that's what you see and you want to draw aliens and put smiley faces in, that's fine. It's funny, isn't it, how we all see different things. It's quite nice though, actually. And of course here we're not looking for something that looks exactly the same as each other's. It's just a little bit different. And then along there. Oh, so you're doing it that way. Okay. So what we're going to do with the rest of this then, I think we need to put a couple of little lines in there. So you just sort of maybe one either side because they're a bit thinner, and then a couple in the middle there. Oh, see, one either side. And same on this one. couple either side, one either in the middle. There you go. Same with that one. And that one. Okay, so far so good. It's not looking too bad at all. It does look a little bit Art Deco-y, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to come in with the lighter grey now. Let's see how that fares. I think first thing I'm going to do is have a look. Working along the edge. I'm going to come in with, have a look, a little bit of a line here. And then I'm going to put a little loop on the top. We've done that before. And a couple, maybe either side there. And I want to add a couple of extra lines in. And I'm just going to put a little bobble on the top there. There we go, a little flourish. I put one along it through there, a little loop. Loop. And maybe just a little one there. And if I work my way along now, putting these little loops in. And of course they're going to look a little bit finer because we're working with a really light grey pen. But it just gives it a little bit of something different there, doesn't it? See, a couple of little loops. Maybe little dots in. And, oh, join in there. So I'm going to work along this row here. I know I've started there. I'm going to come and finish this in a little while. But I'm going to create these little loops and dots along the way. So keeping them a little bit different as I go. So maybe just one there. Just depends on the sort of shape or space you've got as to how many you want to put in or... See, I'm finding, look, see, I'm getting very repetitive here where you see they go the same way. So if I do one opposite, and then of course I'm in to these little spaces and try and do something a little bit different with it. There you go. And then maybe one there with one in, and then just one at the end. So I've got this little sort of design going all the way along. So I'm going to come and finish this little row here. Let me put one there, look. These little dots in. Maybe you just do one there. And a couple in there. And just sort of finish off that end. Maybe one there, look. And in there. Okay, let's have a look at that. So it's quite, it's quite a bit lighter there because of the colour we're doing. Well, I'm going to do the same design along here. So again, adding some little dots as I go and some little bubbles and things. Okay, so let's go a little bit bigger. You see that? Just giving it that little bit of something in the background, but it's not taking away from this original shape and design here. It's just adding a little bit of extra sort of layers kind of thing. Let's do one there. And oh, got a bobble there before then coloured that one in. That's okay. Alright, maybe a couple there. Alright, see, if I find that I'm getting a little bit too samey, you can move along a bit and start somewhere else. There you go, fill it in as you're going. Okay, so this would make a lovely little bookmark as well, wouldn't it? Or what if you you know, you'd done your tile, or you got a bit of a topper and you wanted to put something down the side of the card or down the bottom that looked nice, or maybe, you know, you use this and you have a little stamped sentiment that you stick on over the top. It's got a little bit of you know, just a little bit of finesse about it, hasn't it? That gives it a little bit of something different. So I'm just going to put one there, look. And of course you could just continue it going. You could do a scrapbook page with this, or a photo, like that. I think I'm just going to come back in with that 05, that dark grey. And you see this little bit here between the bubble and those. I'm going to give it something to sit in. And fill in that ink in there. Same with that one. And then same sort of on this side. And working our way around. There we go. Same in that one. And we can have a look at that. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to come in with my my pencil now. I have got some pastels here, but I'm going to start with the regular pencil. And the first thing I'm going to do, let's go a bit bigger. I'm going to bring in some. There you go. Sort of on the ends here. Don't be too shy with it. You know, get some pencil in there. You see, just on the ends. And the same here. I'm going to sort of leave that little line there, I think. So you've got a bit of a difference. There we go. You see, I'm pressing on a little bit, so don't be afraid to put some on there. Okay, next bit. Same bit. It's quite nice, isn't it? Just that sort of those patches of colour, rather than it being completely blended. Sometimes it's quite nice. It gives it a little bit of extra layer. Okay. So let's bring in our tortillon and soften out those pencil areas. You see, just sort of on the edge there. See if it leads neatly in that edge. You can just push it out towards the middle. There we go. And same this way. And of course, oh, not forgetting that one. There we go. So the idea is that we're not completely trying to cover the whole shape. We're wanting just to soften it out so it starts really dark and it gets lighter as you move your way out. But again, we don't want it to touch really. We want a little bit of that original colour in there, if we possibly can. Okay. So just working back and forth, one side to the next. Giving it that little bit of shading that it needs. Same on this one. It's nice, isn't it? So you see now why we had to cut the tile up. I wanted to do something a little bit longer. We could have done this on a regular tile, but you would have only had sort of half the design, and we'd have done it smaller. It's nice now and again just to go a little bit larger with your shapes. Just builds the confidence a little bit in drawing them. Okay, so let's have a little look at this. Okay, so see, we've got this sort of lovely shadow effect going in. I'm going to come back in with my pencil. I'm just going to add a little bit just around the outer edge of those bubbles. Not too much this time, and I'm not going to go too dark. So I don't really want it to cover everything, but I just think it needs a little bit around the edge of those bubbles there. You see? So I'm not going inside where that bubble is, I'm just going on those top edges there. Alright, a little bit lighter than I did on the inside. And then just gonna swirl it around. See, I'm working in sort of do this all that and then go and you go over here. Yes, I would. I'd go in and gold afterwards, because if you go over the gold with your pencil, it's going to dull it slightly. So yeah, that'd be lovely. Gold. No. Look at you, eh? That would be lovely. You see, just by sort of going around with little swirls, and I've left these little shapes. I've just done the outer edges there. Just turning it round, and same sort of thing. Just nice light pressure. Taking my time there. You see, there you go. And then and following it round. Just needed a little bit of shading there, I think. And of course, you could go in with Nuvo drops and things, or your white pen, and add little dots to all those bubbles. Okay. So I'm going to come in now with my pastel pencil. This is a very chalky type of pencil. Here we go. So there we go. So it's not like a regular pencil. It's very definitely chalky base, and this means you can use your tortillon to blend it. So, Lynn, I don't think you need to now. If you're going to do this in gold, then go in gold afterwards, and I would leave it, shade everything, and then go over the top. I wouldn't worry about drawing them first. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of a smirk there, you see? There. So I'm working on the same side. It doesn't matter which side. There you go, look, as long as once you've decided, you draw them on the same. So if you wanted to draw this on the left or the top, you can do. Just try and keep it the same if possible. Okay. So then we can use the same colour, or I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to come in with yellow. I'm going to add some onto the bottom edge of those. Again, you could do this with your regular pencil, and if you don't want to do it in colour, then I would come in with your regular pencil and do what I'm doing now. Okay. See, I'm intrigued now, Lynn. I want to see this all in gold. It'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Into there. Okay. So now if I was going to use my regular tortillon, here we go, it's got, you see it's got a bit of graphite on it, it's going to muddy my colours. So my ideal would be to use a new tortillon for each colour. But if I've only got one, then I'm going to come in with the lightest first. I'm just going to soften the edges, just like I did with the pencil. So you would work lighter to dark, or you could sand it, file it off in between each one. You'll notice as well that there's some chalk sort of dust lying around. I'm not going to blow that away. I'm going to leave it until I've done it all. Okay. And sort of working that one over. And then into this one. And then this one. Okay, and then of course just wipe that off a little bit, and I'm just going to very gently soften that sort of pinky colour. You see, working my way round the shape that I drew, keeping it round. I don't want to sort of have any straight lines on this. I want it to be nice and round. Nice and round. Alright. Just keep my way. There we are. Working it round. And this one. I don't feel like we've lost a day today. It doesn't feel like Tuesday, does it? Okay, now I'm going to blow all the bits of dust away. There we are. So I'm going to bring my black pastel pencil in. There we go. I'm just going to tidy up a little bit. Here we are, my black. And oh, Tracy, I don't think they are at the minute. I think I'm actually looking for a supplier, because the ones I used to use, they don't supply them. But if you're desperate for some, then these are the Brunswick ones. There you go, look, pastels. But there's a few different people do pastel pencils. Faber-Castell do them. They're quite nice. Very nice. But, it just gives you a little bit more ability almost to... you see, I've just added a little bit. Maybe just a little bit in the corners there. I know maybe you're not going to see much of it there, but I know it's there, and it just gives it that little bit of blackness. And there, and those bits. There we go. And going to bring the white. So again, if you've got a white chalky pencil, the usual one, then use that one. But being that I've got my pastels out, I'm going to use the white pastel pencil. And I'm going to add a little bit on the centres of those shapes. See? Just get my way around. Same there. And tiny little bits, just a little highlight, just sort of on the little bubbles there. Okay, I'm not going to blend that out particularly. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so, a second, there we go. Oh, there's our little tile for the day. So you've got that lovely sort of inked effect in the background, and it just brings that pink out with having those extras. So there we go. Last thing to do then, a little bit of a signature. So I'm not going to use the 5, I'll use the old one. There we go. Just put the signature there, my initials. And there's our tile for Tuesday. Bit different, but yeah, really nice. I'm interested to see what you're going to do with this, and whether you're going to change the colours, or, you know, maybe put some gold in there. That's going to be lovely. So absolutely worth having a go at. So yeah, so a little bit of housekeeping. There's been a little bit of a mix-up with dates and things this week, and I think maybe because it's been Easter and stuff, but it looks like Crafters TV is not going to be tomorrow, it's going to be Friday, which actually is not a bad thing, because it gives me a little bit more time to get a bit more demo prep done. Hobby Maker is going to be at the same day, which is Thursday. That does mean that on Friday, if I'm at Crafters, the tile that I would normally do, is that going to happen at 2 o'clock? Well, I'm still going to do a tile. And what I'll do when I get there, I'll sort out exactly the times that I'm going to be on air. And I will then message Chris and let Chris know to tell everybody what time it's going to be. If not, you can't make it live, don't worry about it. It'll be there Friday as per usual. That'll be a tile, so not to panic there. So that's those few bits and pieces. But having said that, you did sort of see a little bit of Crafters TV yesterday. I have brought out, or I am going to be bringing out a new little box kit. Here we go. It's all about bees and creating sort of hexagonal shapes and drawing little bits and pieces. But of course, you see you got things like key rings and bookmarks. That's what Leslie was sort of unwrapping, because here it is. We've got all these different things in the box, brand new colour tiles. And I don't know if you noticed the tangle board there. It's not a rectangle. No, it's a bit different. A couple of stencils in there and some papers as well. So that's a really, really nice sort of little sort of set. And I think the actual tangle board is just lovely. There we go. And of course we've got little slots there. It means you can put your little stand in and you could hold it, so it's a display, or you can put your phone on. And of course you've also got things like, I've even given you a little tassel, and there's a couple of little hexagons here with holes in, so I've actually given you a little key ring so you can make that with. So that's a really nice little kit. And I think what I really do love, it shows you how to actually draw this bee. So let's have a quick look inside there. Let's see, look. There we go, look how to draw the bee from scratch. So lots of things. And of course, I know you all like your grid stencil. So there's a larger grid stencil in there. So that's that one. And then of course, Hobby Maker, we've gone completely different. Now I know you've all been asking for somewhere to store your tiny tiles. Hang on. So we've actually, oh look what Leslie's done. She's been busy. We've done a little tiny tile storage box. And of course, we know when we did the Advent tile over Christmas period. So what I actually thought is, well, let's do something a little bit different there as well. So I'm not going to show you all of this, but it's all these instructions are based around tiny tiles. So you can see there that you've actually got the instructions for actually creating something a little bit different there. So it's absolutely divine, and I think it would be lovely if it was stitched, if anybody's up for the challenge. So yeah, a few different bits and pieces. We thought we'd try something a little bit new and a bit exciting. So I'm hoping that you're going to love them. So, okay, leaving it at that then. There's your tile for the day. A little bit of a sneak peek. And I will sort of see you. Hobby Maker is Thursday, Crafters TV is probably going to be Friday, but I'll still do the tile. So I'm not sure on the time, but I'll let you know as soon as I do. So if you, you know, have a lovely week. And I'm so sorry, Pat, if you can't order from Hobby Maker. Certain things will be on my website. I am hoping to populate the new one, so we'll be starting to get that done. But if there's anything that you see on any of the channels and you honestly think, I can't get it or there's a problem, please email me. And I'm sure we can sort something out. So if you email Sandra at sanntangle.co.uk, just send me a message. I'll get back to you. Okay. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go back to it, and I will see you in the week, all being well. Okay, have a good one. Bye.